Hey, welcome to a special episode of the iBuyer Experiment where we're going to talk about breaking news.
Breaking.
Happy Monday, guys. We're here
Happy
on a Monday.
Breaking news.
Wow.
All right.
Zillow, the juggernaut. Zillow has paused their Zillow Offers acquisitions. They
that is
stopped
huge breaking
buying.
news.
Breaking news.
Does that mean they
All
lost?
right, so let's
Did
have fun
they
with
threw
this.
the white flag?
What do you think that means? Let's go conspiracy, and then what
Or
we
strategy.
possibly think reality is.
Well, that's
Because
okay.
there's all kinds of things floating on that I've seen.
There
Yep.
are. Okay,
There's
well,
been endless talk about it since last night.
so let's just talk what was reported. What was reported
Well-
is Zillow came out and said that they're beyond operational capacity. So they acquired about 3,800 homes last quarter. You compare that to Open Door, though, who acquired 8,400 and had another 8,000 in contract.
So clearly, Open Door is way better.
More dialed in.
They're dialed in.
It double.
Zillow's going,
double.
what the
Double,
heck?
double
We don't know how to
operational
do this.
capacity.
We're a technology company. We got all these people to us. Yep.
Well, the interesting thing is the Wall Street Journal reported that Zillow is getting beat at its own game. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't even their game. It was Open Door's game.
yeah.
So Zillow's just getting beat. But is that why? So I agree with Keith. Let's go conspiracy. Let's go. It just is the way it is. What do we think? What are our thoughts on that, guys?
Like, who are we going first? Keith, good. Keith.
Jump on in.
Well, I mean, the cool part about having all these buyers relationships, a part of our platform or the Zoodealio platform, is we get to hear some inside stuff, right? And I do think that people are a problem right now, meaning finding help.
Yep.
And so Zillow has not had the same amount of time to dial in their process, right? But they have a ton of money to be able to go at it. So I think it could just be that simple. You know, they've acquired so many properties. They can't turn them fast enough. Things are expensive. They're all across the country. And like, holy crap, let's figure out what we have. Let's reevaluate our process. Let's get it dialed back in. Let's find more help so we don't continue to experience this. And so they're slowing down to speed up, I guess, if you will. But my conspiracy sides goes, they have access to so much data. They're predicting the real estate future, and they're thinking, well, you know, our government uses a word called the dark winter is upon us coming this. And if that's the case, you know, they could see maybe a potential turn in the housing market, and they want to see what that looks like before they buy again. Bow.
But then Open Door came out today and said, "We're still in business, guys. Hey. I wonder what their office was like today.
I wonder how many offer requests they got today.
I'm sure they were in great spirits.
I'm sure they were in great spirits. They probably had lunch and they had their dogs,
it was like-
dogs at work and
Overtime available.
You know who else is also open for business? All of the offers that you can get through Zoodealio.
that's right.
And OfferPad, the redheaded stepchild.
So I think when it comes to the retail iBuyers, you've got now, you got one of them that's out of play for now. So if consumers are hooked on this value proposition and wanting to get cash offers, they're going to need to go to someone like us or
Yeah.
one of the other retail iBuyers.
This could be an advantage for Zillow because
Yeah.
you think about it, they still have all the traffic, right? They don't really have to
300
pay
million.
they don't have to pay for all this traffic
Yep.
anymore. Open Door has to. So if Open Door were to stop buying, they would have to stop all their traffic. Whereas Zillow can just turn it back on at any second and be like, all right, we're buying.
Yeah. I mean,
We caught up. Here you go. We're going. And they automatically have the traffic already going there.
But
Yep.
Or
Right,
are they
yeah.
going to lose traffic from this? Because their people aren't coming to go get cash offers. They're coming to see what their house is worth.
I don't know, because I think Zillow had a huge initiative to drive traffic to the site for the Zillow Offers program. I mean, the mailers and the postcards and
Sure.
Well, how about
Yeah.
the live offer? I mean, that's just such a big play. Like, that's one of the things that we really haven't talked about even before this amongst all of us.
prominent
It's a
yet,
dead
though.
It's
offer
not.
now.
I'm on Zillow.
I
It
know
ain't so
that, but it's like
live.
in parts of Florida and places here where it's no longer a Zestimate. It's just like that live offer. Well, they're obviously now going to have to go turn that off for the time being. So what is the default? Or are they going to leave it there and just not perform?
Well, the interesting thing is an effort to kind of undo all of that Zillow offering, Zillow offers offering with their dev team is going to be quite a feat as well.
Yep.
And so, you know, we know what it's like to run dev teams, and it is extremely difficult for developers right now.
Yep.
Ever since after COVID, developers are in such a high demand, more so than ever before, as everybody races to improve their consumer experience online.
Yeah.
And so Zillow saying that they're beyond operational capacity, well, this is also quite the feat for their dev team.
Yeah, I think it's a supply chain thing all the way around, right? Like, I mean, like I think I had said I can personally testify to properties I've seen that I know that were acquired by Zillow, and they sat for 3 to 5 weeks before they even put them back on the market, right? Like there was times that they you know, they're putting up for sale signs in communities. I know that there were no for sale signs, and they had to be emergency take down a couple of days. So like we're talking about, just their process. I think that where obviously because they control so many eyeballs, it's very easy and they have ridiculous amount of capital. It's very easy for them to jump into this space, but maybe like he said, it's a slow down to speed up so they can go back in and dial in that process. And again, that's the one thing that across the board, right? Like real world economics, you cannot argue. Supply chain is a massive issue right now.
Well, the Wall Street Journal says leave it to a technology company to develop an algorithm to predict home values, but mismanage the human aspects of its business.
Ouch.
Boom.
Stinger.
Ouch.
What is that? What is it? What's the big brother?
Zing.
Zingbot.
Yeah.
Zingbot.
Yeah. Well, that's a backhand.
That hurts. Wow. And
Slap.
Opendoor was just brilliant
slap.
in their replies.
Oh,
like,
yes.
oh, we're still open for business.
Yes. And continues to scale and grow. Yep.
Yeah. So, well, you know, one of the things that we would always tell people when the Zillow offer would be excellent was that, well, Zillow has data that we don't have access to, right? They have all of this technology and predictive analytics, and so maybe
Straight up
they know something we
metrics,
don't.
yeah.
So could
Yeah.
this be an indication of the real estate market and a turndown? And, you know, interesting because I was just watching Spencer Raskoff. He was on TechCrunch and he was doing an interview and he was asked that same question. And Spencer Raskoff, you know, is obviously brilliant, was the former CEO of Zillow and now is a partner in OfferPad some way, somehow. He was the special acquisition company that took OfferPad public. And so his take is it just really is probably what they're saying. And it's a supply chain and beyond operational capacity, and that he thinks they'll be ready to be back buying by the end of the year, early next year. He still sees iBuying as being a tremendous benefit to the consumer, as do we.
Yes.
He also echoes a sentiment that I know we all share here at Zoodealio, and that is if the market does start to kind of take a downturn, the value of an institutional cash offer will be even greater for a home seller because it provides them certainty. And there will be less certainty if the market's declining.
Yep.
I know we make jokes about that. Imagine, let's say next spring, you know, I'm just spitballing, when an agent has to go into a listing appointment and say, hey, yeah, so the average days on market is going to be about 90 to 120. I mean, they no one, like, people are, I don't mean 90, 120 days. to
I think
sell
sellers
my
are going to freak out if it
I'm
goes
not gonna
back
sell
up
my
to
house
like
on the first
50.
weekend.
like, man,
Yeah.
it happens. And be like, oh, I was hoping to get multiple offers this first weekend.
Absolutely.
But I don't even think we're not even
Absolutely.
close. We're not close to 60 to 90 days.
Not even
We're-
close.
Maybe in a year.
I don't know.
There's no way.
As I said, I think we've gotten so accustomed to things just selling at will, a couple weekends, whatever else, multiple offers, etc. In your main metropolitan cities, I think if we start going back above even 45 DOM days on market, I think we're going to see a massive shift in the sellers' fear. I think fear is going to come out.
I don't know if it's fear. It's just they don't want to deal with the process. And
Okay.
now any home seller that's sold now in the last year and a half has been spoiled.
Oh,
And
3 years.
The mind shift has already changed.
Yeah.
So one could also argue that the market's more efficient now. And I've
Absolutely.
talked about this over and over
Absolutely.
again, because I think that now we kind of know where to price homes.
Yep.
We know what to do to get the most amount of exposure. And so
Available data to do so.
yeah, I think that we could have a more efficient market to where the new normal could be that 60 days on market, where, you know, maybe 5 years ago, the normal would have been like the 90 days.
Yeah,
Freaking
you're 4
6
months.
months asking for that listing extension, baby. Come on.
Oh, I go for a year when I get a listing.
Well, some homeowners, I mean, if you don't have a great relationship with them, they won't sign that.
Yeah.
Sure they
Because-
will.
Jason's like, I
Jason's
get
closing.
them all the
Oh, it's
same.
just a standard. Just a standard 1 year.
Standard one year.
Well, we put a lot into our listing initiative and our marketing efforts, and so you gotta give it enough time.
Yep.
Yep.
So Open Door, they closed 8,500 homes the second quarter. Well,
yeah.
Zillow had 3,800. So what that tells me is that Open Door has probably their efficiency's got to be crazy.
Okay,
If
let's
Zillow's stopping at 3,800.
let's also we know what happened is Zillow started their offers program using local listing brokers in their markets. And then they slowly started opening up brokerages and kind of replacing those relationships with their own employees. And so as they are now, it's our understanding, just kind of based on some of the insight and intel we have, that they're ending all of those local listing broker relationships at the end of this month. And so maybe given that those relationships are ending and they're not tooled up and staffed up appropriately, that could play into this as well.
It could be a manpower issue.
It could be.
Absolutely.
Could also be.
I actually I don't even know if I thought about that until you just brought that up right now. That could be totally part of it, right? All those MSAs ending.
Yeah, and then also we know that like Zillow is they do certain things like in every house, like replace it with the same faucet, the same blinds, and so those things could be also severely back ordered, and they just don't have the ability to.
They're on the container ships out in the
that
ocean.
they can't unload.
Waiting to come.
Yeah, to the harbor.
Why didn't they
There's
just
so
say
much
that?
crazy
All
stuff
of our sinks and stuff are in the container ships,
Yeah.
guys. We got to stop buying.
Well, the Port of Los Angeles, which I guess does about 70% of the imports and exports in the U.S., and they're 24 hours now.
Wow.
So it's definitely an issue at large.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all by design. It's not happening by accident.
Conspiracy.
So what's your take? Let's all.
I mean, they could have. Zillow could have just had like a drop in traffic to their website,
No.
like a 30-40% drop,
Could you imagine?
and they're like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
No, I think it's probably like, okay, we know that Zillow gets way more offer requests than Open Door and
anywhere else, right?
right? Because they have all of the traffic.
Right.
So if their 3,400, was at a 2% acceptance rate,
They
but
say their
offer
acceptance
pad-
rate is 1%.
Yeah,
that's Zillow's
Yep.
self-proclaimed acceptance rate is 1%.
So then you could see how then if they're having a very low acceptance rate, they're making many, many, many more offers
Yep.
to get those acceptances than like an Open Door or an offer pad.
Yep.
That
Yep.
plays a factor too.
Yeah,
There's
and
a
it's
lot
just
going
labor,
on.
right? There's a lot of infrastructure. When you think about what goes on in the iBuy model, it's not just make an offer, close, lipstick it, and put it back on, right? Even though that's what we see at the macro, like there's obviously infrastructure and process that we have to do all of these things, right? Like, and when you're going to do this at such a crazy volume, well, you have an onboarding process. I mean, and then like think about the headache that comes in with all of that. You have like the HR management of it, all of it. You have, obviously the expansion of just building an entire new department, right? Like, I mean, it is literally an entire new department. And so I think when they need to grow and expand as fast as they have to meet the demand, to me, it's not, they clearly did say it's not a demand issue, right? It's being able to service what they currently have, right? And I would imagine, again, we all know when you buy a house and you're flipping at scale, you have to be able to liquidate very, very quickly. And when they buy a house and it just sits dead on their books for 3 to 5 weeks, that's dumb.
Well, we do know that across the board, construction crews are taking quite a bit. I mean, we were talking with
Construction's up 300%. Like the overall cost. It's like, well, I know certain goods are, and then like some of your laborers and framers, it's up 300%. Insane. So I guess we don't think that that's showing up here too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, guys, what's your take? Conspiracy or legit? Let's give it a rating. Let's give it a, I don't know, let's say conspiracy is a 10. This is legit's a 1. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. It's gonna 1.
I think it's legit. I'm a 1.
I think it's a little bit of both.
So what's your number?
What's your number? 5? If it's a little bit of the bill.
It was 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 5.
You're gonna get-
What are you?
There's
Hold on.
always stuff behind the scenes that is never disclosed.
Right. What's yours, Caleb? Before
I mean, Winston Churchill says never waste a
Yes,
good
yep,
crisis.
yep.
And supply chain is a crisis.
crisis. Yeah.
And if they had different motives, this would be the perfect time to pin it on this.
Yep.
I'm with Keith. I'm a little bit more skeptical. I don't know if I'm quite a 5. I'm going to give myself a 3.75.
So the other thing too that I want to that now that you gave your score 375 is COVID was scary for all of them, us, etc., everybody in the industry, right? Those first 60 days when they froze their credit lines, etc. They came back from that stronger than we have ever seen. And what turned into the craziest sellers market pretty much.
Everything did though. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's not just that. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm keeping
the
it
market came
specific.
back like crazy.
Right. Well, but and that's the part that is like what Spencer's talking about, and we all always talk about as soon as like the whole I could sell my house with, I mean, let's face it. I mean, there's houses that are lipsticks with turds on them that are selling for or turds with lipstick on them, whatever, however you want to say that.
Do we have to go that graphic?
for over list price, right? Like through all this malarkey that's been going on, right?
Malarkey, huh? They just threw a Biden thing in there.
Whatever.
Malarkey.
Stop distracting me, Jay.
Let's circle back on
Elliot
that one.
Biden over there.
Yeah. Stop.
It is a very old word. Someone that's going to use malarkey is definitely an older
Hey, I'm an
individual.
old soul, guys. I'm an old soul. Okay, I'm not old. I'm just an old soul.
You're not an old turd with lipstick on it.
Or an old lipstick with a turd on it.
There you go. That's right.
All right, we've digressed. All right,
Okay.
All right, hold on.
We're at 17 minutes.
So the last thing that I think is important for us to realize is they learned a ton from that, right? Like you said, don't let a good crisis go to waste. Winston Churchill. This is an exact same thing where it maybe there is a piece here where there is a lot of dynamics that they're going to be able to catapult from this speed bump, if you will, right? So what that is, I don't know. I mean, obviously the most simplistic thing is more people, better systems, better process, etc. But that's what's on the surface. What is the underneath?
I think it's just they're just way in over their heads. They started as a tech company. They've never in a million years thought they were going to be buying 3,800 homes, flipping them and working with humans instead of a computer and
Bots,
servers and stuff. Yeah, and technology.
Oh,
I think they got in over their heads.
It must be so frustrating for them.
Oh yes,
So frustrating.
real estate agents suck. But yet,
What? Zillow would never say that.
oh, they would never say that.
Never, ever. I don't know. I think that they did get in over their heads, but I also look at another component nobody's talking about, and that's Zillow Offers, because many of the originations from Zillow Offers have been sourced back, Zillow Mortgage. Right. Elliot knew where I was going with this.
Yep.
Many of the originations for Zillow Mortgage have been sourced back to Zillow Offers. So not only have they stopped on the Zillow Offers front, but that is going to massively impact the mortgage front too.
If memory serves me, it was
It was a lot. I don't remember.
It was 19%, if memory serves me. I think it was
remember.
19% of their leads are sourced back to Zillow Offers, which is, that's a ridiculous lead funnel.
Yeah, it really was. And so that's another huge loss.
And that came out in a shareholder letter.
So no doubt, we wonder why their stock tanked. What is it down today?
It's down 9% today.
9%.
Damn.
I think at one point during the day it was down even
Like
more.
11 or 12.
Yeah.
It came down back to
So-
9. But yeah, so investors definitely did not like this news.
No, they did not. Their stock took a hit. They were willing to put it out there. And it's going to be interesting. I think that their Q3 numbers come out November 2nd, I believe. So we will be watching those like a hawk. I know that OfferPad Open Door come out shortly after.
They pushed
Yeah,
it.
they pushed it. I saw that.
November.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we were joking about
It
the
was going
best
to be
time.
like October 18th, and now it's like November 10th for OfferPad or something like that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, that pushed out a lot.
Give themselves some more time to cook the books.
Yeah, hell yeah. they need that.
I'm kidding. I'm
No,
totally
they
kidding.
need that. They need that spike again.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, you know what? That's where there could be another conspiracy side of this. Is their Zillow's stock is going to drop it's going to be a great time for investors
Yep,
to
buy.
And then when they announce that they buy houses again,
Yep.
pump and dump, baby.
Yep. Yeah, got to get that capital from somewhere.
I'm just kidding.
There's, like I said, there's always an angle. No, but I'm curious, like all of our viewers out there, you guys that are tuning in, what do you guys think, right? I know this is one of those ones where, like, give us your feedback, your insight on this, because again, this is our industry, and there's definitely some things going on here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, drop some dope knowledge.
Are we going to share the deal of the week?
Oh, we're gonna do a deal of the week.
Oh,
We're cutting us off early.
But you gotta start it off.
Okay,
You
all right.
started.
Sorry,
it.
one
You
real
can't-
quick.
You have to do it every time now.
It's another edition of the Deal Deep Dive with Keith Howard.
All right.
Like these.
Wow.
So pretty cool. We get this one goes out to Regina, R1 of New Mexico.
Oh,
She got a leaseback offer.
Nice.
It works with our clients, and they just recently signed the contract. I
Boom.
believe very recently, and so that's exciting. You know,
So this is a homeowner that sold their house to a institutional seller or buyer,
Yep.
and they're going to lease it back from them.
Yep, they can lease it back
on a
up
month-to-month
to 12,
basis.
up to 12 months. Yep, and it works, and they're going to get the cash they need up front to take their time. They're undecided if it's going to be a new build or resell. So now
nice.
they got 12 months to figure that out. So
Nice.
it works, and excited because it's her first accepted deal with us. So she's excited. She sees the vision. She even submitted her own home, right?
Dang.
Wow.
To see to potentially get an offer like that. So right, I mean,
Nice.
come on. I mean, agents submit their own house. You know, they have. You know, they all know they can get more on the open market, but she sees the angles and loves it. So that was exciting. So Regina over at R1 of Realty One in New Mexico. Congrats.
Shout out.
Gina.
Love it. Congrats, Regina. Well, we thank you for your business and your support. Thank you for listening. We appreciate
Yes.
you, and we would love to know, where are you listening from? What are your thoughts about our show? How can we better serve you? So drop
Yep.
us a line, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.